Hi guys, today I thought I would colour in Mushroom Mayhem from Hide and Seek. And I think this one lends itself nicely to coloured markers. So I'm going to go straight into the coloured markers, and I'm going to start with a coral haze for my little mushrooms. And I'm going to create a shadow underneath that mushroom with geranium. Now the story of this page is that there's a happy little world of mushrooms and bugs and snails running happily through the flowers. There's a little bit of menace because this guy seems to have picked up a little bit of vampireness about him. And I didn't know that vampires could infect mushrooms, but apparently here we are. And everyone seems oblivious and happy, except for this guy who seems to be onto it. I'm going back into my geranium for a bit of shadow effect. I'm going to make them all the same colour, just because I like colouring in with this red so much. While I got my red out, I'm going to do this lady beetle's shell as well. Maybe that top little bit of its head. Alright, shadowing. I can't put my lids on properly. I can keep spiking my fingers. Thinking of using turquoise blue for the body of these guys. I think a little bit insane. Thinking of just going blues and purples, and the reds are a big standout. I did turquoise blue and then like a pale blue violet for a shadow. This guy looks all tuckered out, doesn't he? Collapsed. It's tough being a mushroom. Well, he's tuckered out, but these guys have fallen asleep. I think I'm getting happier and happier with that blue, even though they look a little bit like Smurfs, maybe. Maybe that's why I like them. Do you guys remember Smurfs? I had a couple of Smurfs, elfish things. Used to buy the plastic little guys. I had a couple that I had friends that had whole villages, had like mushroom homes they lived in. Alright, this little guy here. I'm going to leave him blue, even though he's a little bit vampire affected and wearing a mask. So intent. So there's intent there for mischief. Maybe I'm going to do a shadow underneath his little eye patch there. Maybe under his chin too. I think I'm going to use that same turquoise blue and pale violet for the stomach of this little guy. And this looks like a little baby one of those, so I'll get some blue in there as well. And I'm going to use the pale blue violet for the snail. For the snail's body, maybe not for his shell. And this is a dark violet light. I'm just going to see if there's a difference if I put that on. That's a little bit darker. I might do that. Same colour for the spots. I was thinking this should be like a really dark one, but if I start here and I don't like it, I can go back over it with a darker one. I'm just wanting to play in that violet blue colour space. I'm going to do that for here as well, for his little eye mask. Alright, I'm going to take the darker of those, the dark violet light, and I'm thinking I'm just going to fill in this background with that. Alright, I've got a darker one here. This is lavender. I'm thinking of just using that to create shadows within that border. I think I'm going to do the centre of those flowers, that as well. I'm going to do this grass as that lavender as well. I think it'll anchor the picture a little bit. We'll see how we go. It's fun, it looks like a 1970s shag pile carpet going on here. Right colour for that too. And I'm going to just do this shadow inside this log, that same. I don't think I've ever used so much lavender before. Sometimes those dark colours can be a bit scary. I'm going to bring back my turquoise blue and I'm going to make this shell work in that blue. Pale blue violet, I think was the colour I used. Let's play with that. Let's play with it and see. I'm just trying to get stripes on here. Leave some of that blue shining through. Maybe even use my dark violet light. Add in a couple of more convincing stripes. Alright, now I'm going to try and, I was thinking of adding in some mint green light and maybe mint green for the green trees. I'm not sure, so I'm just going to throw that in amongst it and see how I go. Oh, you know, I think that's going to look great. Okay, that's where we had mint green light for some of this foliage. Oh, let's go thick. We can do it thick. We can do it. I'm really loving this green. It is a sort of a bluey green more than the yellowy green. I think the yellowy green would have been a mistake to bring in to this colour palette. And we're just trying to keep it nice and simple. Not doing blends or anything. Solid colour blocks and using a little bit of shadowing with the darker colours. Right, I'm going to leaves green and maybe have a woody stem on this. Maybe I'll just colour it all in. Alright, this is my mint green, which is just a bit darker. And perfect for setting a subtle shadow to various places in this vine. Alright, let's pick a colour now for the flowers. I'm thinking maybe a pink. Something in the bluey pinks. I've got a pastel violet, no, pastel pink. I'm thinking pastel pinks are on the head. Alright, I've got a pastel violet here, which is, I'm hoping, just a little lighter. So between those pastel dark and light violets. Because this pink's quite solid, so I don't want it to be popping out all around the edges, but I do want these to sort of have some lightness, the petals. Now I've just got to work out what colour to do the centre of these flowers. I'm going to do this log that colour too. I just get the feeling if I add too many more colours in, it's going to be a little bit overwhelming. And I don't want the log to be a big feature. I want the mushrooms to stand out. Which they're already doing their vibrant red. Now let's talk sky. Looking like a really dark blue. Like a cobalt blue. What do you think? I think that will work. Let's do that. I'm going to thick a nib. Alright, I've got a cool grey 042, and I'm just going to add some little bits of shadows. I think this will just help cut back the vibrancy of that pink. It's almost like a fluoro, isn't it, that pink? Wonderful. I'm just going to bring some of that lavender back in to mix it with this, because it's a bit too blue. Not exactly the right colour, but if I go over it with the lavender, it might, it'll darken it, which is what I'm hoping for. And two, it will bring it back into that sort of violet range rather than the deep blue range. Maybe you don't even need to do the whole thing, we could just have it at the bottom. No, I think that's good. Just do the whole thing. Better. Alright, let's finish this off. A white ink pen, and I'm just going to highlight things as is my wont. I think I shall call that a day. There it is, Mushroom Mayhem. A bit of a off-kilter colour scheme, but it's fun. Sort of a bluey greeny violet-y vibe with some red. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. It was fun to colour, and I shall see you in another colour one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.